everyone. I've had the week of hell and I needed something to lift me up. So I remembered that this came out and my local bookshop had it. So I went and got it. First of all, look at the beautiful cover. This is what attracted me to it first when I saw it announced. It came out in June and I forgot about it after I bookmarked it, as usual. But yesterday I saw it again and I started reading it and I decided to vlog my reading experience. So far I'm 20 pages in. This book, like I said, has a beautiful cover. It promises me some fun, fast-paced adventure. This is what I'm getting from it. I completely forgot what it was about. I remember something about a jazzy Shanghai thing. Not sure. Not reading the blurb again to not get into too much expectations. That's how I'm reading. So let's have the experience. Like I said, I'm about 20 pages in and so far it's been a lot of info dumping. The writing feels a little bit more YA than I thought because this is marketed as adult fantasy. So we'll see if that changes. We have the first person perspective from a very angry narrator. The narrator is Lady Jing. She's half fox spirit and half vampire. So her mother was a fox spirit and her father was a vampire. The father disappeared very fast after her birth and her mother liked jewelry more than her. So she pawned her away and then died. So she grew up with something Wang. I forgot the first name. I think he's sort of the ruler or the person everybody refers to. King Wang? Maybe, in Shanghai where they live. And they're not in normal Shanghai, as you probably guessed, with fox spirit and vampires, but they're on the other side of Shanghai. So the two worlds, our world and their world, sort of connects and you can move between, but you're of course not encouraged to. But at some time in the night or at twilight, the barrier thins so you could cross over. The book starts with Lady Jing waiting for a package to be delivered that she has to drop off at Mr. Wang's place because he pays her in blood. And yeah, so that's what she does. The package arrives and it turns out to be a very good smelling mortal and he's about 30. Lady Jing will turn 100 in a few days, so that's coming up. And it turns out that he was supposed to have some kind of talisman that would protect him from all the other spirits living in the Shanghai area, of course, but now he smells tasty to everyone and she has to take back roads and climb up buildings. So it starts off very adventurous, it starts off very mysterious in some parts, but also leaving a lot of options. We also find out that apparently with the 100th birthday she qualifies or is eligible to join the council of sorts. I'm not completely sure about that, but of course there are other factions who look down upon her and she doesn't really want to do that. Like I said, she's mostly angry. The narration feels a little bit on purpose info dumpy, so it's made clear that we need to know this, but she doesn't really care about it. And I don't really know where the story is going to go. I'm expecting some of the political drama to unfold. I'm also expecting something to happen with the mortal. He wants to do business with Mr. Wang, I think, maybe. And I'm also thinking if there's a romance in this book, that would be probably the plotline, the mortal and the vampire, and the difficulties there. On the one side, it could be really fun. On the other side, I think it would be rather boring due to its predictability in the first 20 pages. But we'll see. I'm looking forward to what's going to happen next, and I'll tell you more once I've read more. Oh, this is fun. Quick update. I'm about 80 pages in. Did I mention before that Immortal Shanghai is hell? I kind of missed that before. And Big Wang, or Big Wang, whatever he's called, is the king of hell. So he's the guardian of our main character, Lady Jin. And she is just pleasure in her anger. She is so easily annoyed. And I also found why I feel it's YA, because her behavior is still childish. It's even addressed that she really lets everybody push her buttons and she explodes dramatically. It's actually kind of fun. And
So I'm hoping for that to have a little bit more of development and growth so that she may get better in her anger management, which she has courses on and knows the tricks of what to do, but still explodes. So much fun. And I'm also currently at the point where she has become more of the bodyguard, guardian, tourist guide, whatever of this mortal Mr. Lee. And there are the sparks. They are starting to fly, even though they're still on different sides of what's going on. But I think she's getting feelings, and he's doughy-eyed anyway, so we'll see. Sort of fun and adventure. The info dump that happened at the beginning stopped, and now we are getting more and more information about the world as we go. We get more characters, we get more background, and I really enjoy that. I also figured out that we're in the mid 1930s at the moment, and so curious to see how that plays a role in whatever is going on. Highly enjoying myself.
Let's have one more update before I finish the book. I'm about 2/3 through now and I'm highly enjoying this. A few chapters ago, we left Immortal Shanghai and went to Mortal Shanghai, and the tone shifted a little bit. We can feel that our main character, Lady Jing, has a lot less pressure now, and her anger issues or her anger transfers more into insecurities. We see her not being angry all the time, but also trying to improve, and the relationship with Mr. Lee, who accompanied her as sort of a chaperone and guide, is getting more and more interesting. How they are talking, how they are interacting, and how the attitude that Lady Jing has to him shifts and changes more and more. Nothing really happened yet, but it's so much fun to see them in Mortal Shanghai. The description of the city and the places is really interesting and well done. I highly enjoy the writing. It is still a little bit that I think Lady Jing should mature more, but it's so much fun to see. When it comes to the events, what's happening in Mortal Shanghai, nothing much actually is happening. They are just going through their days, getting to know each other, seeing the scenery and seeing sights. They're visiting places. They're trying to find out what has gone wrong with the talisman that Mr. Lee had and why it wasn't working. So that's quite interesting. But right now, there's nothing troublesome happening like there was constantly in Immortal Shanghai. Compared to the events or action that happened in Immortal Shanghai, the events or plot progression in Mortal Shanghai is slower. It's more relaxed, and I really enjoy that. So I'm kind of curious how this is going to end, and I'm afraid this might not end. I recently saw that this is a first in a series. I didn't know that when I bought it. So I hope it doesn't end on a cliffhanger, because this just came out. When is the second book coming out? I don't know. I need to look that up. I'll tell you more about my final thoughts once I've finished, and I hopefully found out when the second book will come out, and hopefully there will be no cliffhanger and drama. We'll see. This was fun. Let's wrap up my final thoughts of Shanghai Immortal. I really enjoyed the book. The book starts off with a little bit confusion of what it wants to be. Like I said in the beginning, the feeling of the writing is a little bit more YA than adult, as what I expected. And the character is represented as super angry, the main character, the Lady Jing, and also as not really mature. Everyone around her feels more mature and grown up. But throughout the book, this changes. We can see her evolve, we can see her grow, we can see her misconceptions, we can see her insecurities, we can see her trying really hard and always reverting back on being frustrated and angry. And I really, really enjoyed that. How she's referring to her anger management training sessions and all the other lessons she's had throughout the years on how to behave and things that grated on her, but that she can make use of as she matures and becomes more aware of what's actually going on. I really enjoyed that. I also really enjoyed the romance part with Mr. Lee, as I expected that was going to happen, and the way things go are really fun. I enjoyed that. I also enjoyed the world building. The whole book is set in Chinese mythology, and we are partly in Immortal Shanghai, where the spirits and the ghosts and everything there lives and
roams around, and that's part of that world. But parallel, there's also mortal Shanghai, and we get to see that in the later part of the book, and we see how the immortal characters or the immortal beings are part of that culture and how they roam around in mortal Shanghai. We see the world described really well. I really enjoyed the images the author creates, that the pictures of Shanghai Immortal and Mortal really come to life with her writing. I really enjoyed that. Personally, I really liked fantasy settings in Chinese mythology, especially when it's a crossover between the immortal and mortal worlds and the characters interact. And yeah, I enjoy that for that. The story part of the political schemes that are going on really sum up nicely. There is no cliffhanger, even though this is the first book in a trilogy. As according to the author's note, there will be 2 more books. And I don't know if they will be about the same characters or just in the same world. I would actually really enjoy to have more books in the same world with different characters as well, because the setting is just so rich and offers so many more stories to tell. Overall, I highly recommend it. Like I said, the story is one complete story, so no cliffhangers. You don't have to go on to the second book if you don't like it. I recommend checking it out if you're interested in anything I said about the book and the premise. I can only recommend it. It was a lot of fun to read. And that's me enough raving about the book. Have you read the book? Have you heard about it? Apparently it was a Kickstarter. I only learned all of that from the author's note at the end. Yeah, that's what I find out after I read a book. What it's actually about, how it came to be, and also can we appreciate this beautiful cover if we haven't done that enough yet. Tell me in comments if you heard of the book, if you read it, and whatever your thoughts are. If you have any recommendations for similar books, send them my way. Thank you all for watching. Bye-bye.